in the party, step up in the party,
Good morning, my name is Prathapat Munsuk. I'm a second year student from the Faculty of Engineering, majoring in Mechanical Engineering. Let me introduce our group members. The first one is Miss Kiratika Sutha. The second one is Mr. Nupasin Kim Yong. And the last one is Miss Nayarat Udumlachanati. Today, we would like to talk about underage drinking risk factor and consequences. Our message today is that we want everyone to be more aware of the underage drinking risk factor and prevention. Our presentation is divided into 3 parts. First, we will talk about risk factor. Second, we will describe consequences of underage drinking. Lastly, we will end our presentation with prevention. Drinking and teen development. For some students, drinking alcohol is their only behavior problem. For some others, drinking goes along with all the problem behavior linked to unconventionality, impulsiveness, and sensation seeking. According to research, adolescents aged 12 to 17 who use alcohol are more likely to report behavioral issues. According to the Substance Abuse to Mental Health Service Administration, especially behavior that is aggressive, delinquent, or criminal. Typically, binge drinking among students begins around age 13, increases during adolescence. Peaks in young adulthood ages 18 to 22, and then gradually decreases. However, studies have found that young people who increase their binge drinking between ages 18 and 24 or who consistently binge drink at least once a week during those years may having problems into following areas: educational attainment, employment, financial independence, marriage. Now, I will give the floor to Miss Kiratika Sutha.
Thank you, Ms. Lidaphat. Let's start with our first point. The first point, I'm going to talk about risk factors. There are many reasons why some adolescents begin a pattern of alcohol abuse and develop alcohol use disorders, while others do not. Here are some of the key risk factors. Childhood behavior. Behavior patterns in early childhood have also been found to be predictors of later drinking problems. At age 3, children who were classified as under control, impulsive, restless, or destructible were twice as likely to be diagnosed with alcohol use disorders at age 21 compared to 3-year-olds. Classified as inhibited or well-adjusted, children who exhibit aggressiveness as early as ages 5 to 10 years old are more likely to use alcohol and other drugs during adolescence. In addition, children who exhibit antisocial behavior are more likely to have alcohol-related problems during adolescence and severe alcohol use disorders in adulthood. I will move on to psychiatric disorders. Alcohol consumption and availability of psychiatric disorders have been linked in adolescents and young adults in several research studies. For example, adolescents who are heavy drinkers are more likely. Are you still with us? Now, move on to psychosocial factors. Along with the factors listed above, there are a number of psychosocial factors that increase the risk of underage youth making a decision to begin early onset alcohol consumption, especially family dynamics. Parents are the single most important influence on their children's decision to become involved in substance use or not. Studies show that parents who drink or express favorable attitudes about drinking or linked to their children initiating alcohol consumption and continuing to drink. But children who are warned about the dangers of alcohol by their parents are least likely to start drinking underage. By the way, adolescents are more likely to drink if their peers drink. Beyond that, even if their peers exhibit an acceptance of drinking, it can influence a child's decision to initiate alcohol consumption. Now, I will turn the floor over to Mr. Nopasin.
Thank you, Ms. Kiratika. Let's move on to our second point, consequence. The effect was almost immediate. Alcohol-related traffic fatality increased dramatically. Highway deaths not only increased in the states where the drinking age was lower but also in the states that border those states. That's when Congress steps in and mandates nationwide legal drinking age of 21 by threatening to withhold federal highway funding to those states that did not increase the drinking age. The higher legal drinking age immediately prompted a decrease in underage drinking and a decrease in drinking and driving as well as alcohol-related highway fatality. The legal drinking age no doubt has an effect in other areas where underage drinking can result in problems including emotional and behavioral problems. There is also a strong relationship based on adolescent self-reporting between teen alcohol use and emotional and behavioral problems including driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, feeling depressed, fighting, skip school, stealing. Let's turn to our third point, prevention. Several studies have found that early onset drinking is linked to the risk of greater substance abuse problems later in life. The earlier a child begins to drink alcohol, the greater the problem they will face in adulthood, not only with substance abuse but with meeting important life goals such as education and career. Therefore, it is important for parents and for society to do everything possible to prevent the initiation of childhood drinking. Law and policy will only work so far. The real work begins in the home within the family. Parents need to know that alcohol use can also be a warning sign or a cry for help that something is really wrong in a child's life. If parents, counselor, teacher, and other caring adults reach children early enough, they can intervene before troubling behavior leads to serious emotional disturbance including family disagreement, illicit drug use, school failure, suicide, violence. I have already discussed the last point. Now I will give the floor to Ms. Nayarat.
Thank you, Mr. Nopasin. Now I will talk about last point, prevention. The earlier a child begins to drink alcohol is linked to the risk of greater substance abuse problem later in life. Therefore, it is important for parents and for society to do everything possible to prevent the initiation of childhood drinking. Laws and policies will only work so far. The real work begins in the home, within the family. Parents need to know that alcohol use can also be a warning sign or a cry for help, that something is seriously wrong in a child's life. If parents, counselors, teachers, and other caring adults lead children early enough, they can intervene before troubling behavior lead to serious emotional disturbance. Second, we talk about consequences of underage drinking. Don't forget that young people who drink are more likely to engage in risk-taking behavior that can result in school failure, injury, and death. Finally, we talk about prevention. Remember that it is important for parents and for society to do everything possible to prevent the initiation of childhood drinking. They need to know that alcohol use can also be a warning sign or a cry for help, that something is seriously wrong in child life. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions or comments?